Well, guys, thank you so much for coming. Sorry, I'm late. It's 100% my fault. But let me start out by saying hello to David and Ty. And let's start with David. How are you doing, David?
I'm good, buddy. It's Monday. We got some free agent signings. Made official. The Leonard Floyd one's the big one there.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Well, should we talk about the biggest splash? Ty, how
let's
you
get the
doing,
formalities out of the way. Let's get
Yeah.
the formalities out of the way. Let's throw it down to Ty. Ty, how the heck are you doing? Me and David, we talk almost every day. If we don't, there's something wrong. And it's been a little bit of time, but how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. It's a good Monday. I'm feeling all right. It's
All
never a
right,
dull
well-
moment in Niner land. So here we go.
Right. So let's get rid of that elephant. Let's just rip the Band-Aid off. David, would you do us the honors? Will you let us know the news that's happened on this fantastic Monday?
Well, the big splash that we all wanted. We signed Josh Dobbs.
There you go. Boom. Watch out, NFL.
You guys joke, and I know it's funny, but he almost beat us. So, I mean, there's that, right? And then he went to Minnesota, and for that one game, he looked pretty good. But yeah. I honestly think it wasn't just him in Minnesota. There were some other things that happened too. But the guy's got some athleticism in him. He's got some. He's got some shake and what do you call that? What is it? Shake and bake.
Shake and bake.
Yeah, some shake and bake to him.
So, but I'm not sure the whole contract finalities, everything that he's due or what he's getting paid or anything like that. And I'm not sure if that's out yet, David or Ty.
Yeah.
But is it out?
Yeah, okay. I believe it was 2.25 million with another seven. He can earn another 750,000 in incentives, and I believe that 2.25 is guaranteed as well.
So, and Brandon Allen signed for what? 1 million?
Yep.
Okay, so that's 3.25, and then we got Brock, and what's he making?
Under
62, I believe, something like that. In the 800,000 range.
So then we're up to we'll say $4.2 million for our entire QB room.
Yeah, which is insane.
That's I'm willing to bet that's the cheapest in the NFL.
Yeah, probably so.
Well, it's definitely interesting because every year, you get your projections. This is going to be the best guy coming out of the draft, and then they go back and they grade everything when it happens, and then they go back a couple years later and then they regrade it, right? So we're at that moment where some of these players are getting every year. There's a regrade, right? Let's be honest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And every year, you got some generational talent. It might not be wide receiver. It might not necessarily be running back or quarterback, but somebody's coming out that they've never. It's the kicker this time, right? He's the one who can boot it out of the stadium into the other city. That's our guy, right? So right now, everybody's getting it, settled and places are shaking out, and after this happens, then you're gonna have some of those players that people are like, oh well, he's no good, and that's why he didn't get signed, or oh no, he's too much. They're waiting for certain things to accumulate and certain things to form together before they can move on, right? So what I'm getting at is we got Sam Darnold last year, and if we could have got Sam Darnold a couple years ago, it would have happened. Why? I don't know. But Kyle liked Sam Darnold. Okay.
Yeah.
It's fact. It's facts. And you know who else he likes? He also likes Zach Wilson. And I know people are going to try to squash that and say, oh, no, we don't want him because of his character and all this other stuff. Guys, I'm going to say it. I don't care who you sleep with. I don't care who you sleep with. When you're on the football team and you're wearing the team I'm rooting for, that's all I'm rooting for. After that, you go and do your victory celebration or whatever in the sheets or whatever you're doing. Your friend's mom or your mom's best friend, whatever situation it is. I don't care. I do not care. Okay. When Jimmy, was going out with porn stars, I didn't care. When Trey Lance was, at a party, and if you go to a party, you should not videotape people. It's not right. I mean, like it is. So the only reason we knew the Make It Rain happened is because whoever invited that guy is hopefully not on the team anymore either. And that guy to the party and did the thing with the camera. Hopefully he's not being invited to any other parties because that's just not cool, right? Like what stays in the club stays in the club, right? Or at the party, at the house. So I think right now the Josh Dobbs signing is really fantastic because one, it frees up that like takes a little bit of weight off our shoulders. We got a quarterback, and it ain't Brandon Allen. It's not Sam Darnold. It might not be the one that we want to keep. It might not be the one that we have at the start of the season or even at the end of the season. But that $2.5 million, that sounds a lot better than what Darnold I think was going to get. I thought he was going to get $5 million last year. But like last year, right, was $5 million.
Yeah, five last year, and then it could have went up to 7 something if he would have played more games
with the incentives and stuff, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So this is awesome. So we saved some money last year, but this year we're saving even an additional amount of money by cutting that quarterback cost in half. And again, we still, who knows, maybe we have Josh Dobbs as capital and we trade him for Zach Wilson. But what I'm getting at is Zach Wilson wasn't picked up today because he's still under contract.
Yeah, you have to trade for him.
And the capital that they would trade for him is not what they wanted. Even if his way is out of New York right now, he's not coming to San Francisco today because we are not making a trade. And the same thing with Bosa. We didn't make a trade for Bosa. That's why he's still in LA. Guys, we're not done yet. And that's what I want to say. Let's start out with David. What else are you excited about, David? And we'll give it to Ty. It's Monday, man.
Well, I'm excited that Leonard Floyd signed his contract because that's one guarantee guy is going to be there. Yitter Gross Matos also signed his. The Malik Collins, we traded for him. I don't know if Jordan Elliott inked his contract yet.
I haven't heard. I don't know.
I hope so because, what we're doing, and, I'm sure y'all faithful see this. Last year, we didn't have, like, a lot of depth. We had Armstead, Hargrave. Kinlaw had his best year, but he was still getting pushed around. Givens isn't necessarily gonna win you a Super Bowl, right? And the edges. I actually liked Cleveland Farrell and Gregory when it comes to the guys playing opposite of Bosa, but Chase Young didn't have the impact everybody thought he would.
Nope.
Cleveland Farrell, I think he signed with the Commanders. So, he's not coming back. I was hoping he would, but he's not coming back. But, we didn't have the depth in the D-line that we've had in years past. We didn't have the Charles Omenihu, Jordan Willis. All these guys were rotating in fresh and energetic and, can actually pressure the quarterback. Now we're going, we have Yitter Gross Matos. That's like a guy just like Omenihu.
Yep.
Right. He can play outside, inside.
Yep.
And we're bringing in Leonard Floyd. They can both set the edge, folks.
Exactly.
They can both set the edge. So now, and then we got, Robert Beal Jr. Actually, I don't know if y'all saw 51 in the Super Bowl, but he was in that backfield.
Yeah.
So, we might have more than we even know there. And then Drake Jackson's coming back from injury. And yet to be seen on him. He had 3 sacks against the Steelers and then just kind of disappeared. But, at this point, those are our edges. And Nick Bosa, of course.
Yeah.
So you're excited today about the signings And yeah, it's Monday. All right. So, Ty, it's Monday.
Yeah.
We got that established. What are you excited about the Niners have done? David took, the signing of our linebacker there, I believe. So, you kind of have to come up with something a little different.
I'm just excited about what they've done overall. And David hit the nail on the head. Our depth was lacking. And I think they shored up some things. Well, let's talk about this. Defensively, the depth was lacking, right? Especially along the D line. And I believe they shored up some things to build that quality depth that we've had in previous seasons. We also went out and got a corner. A guy 6'1", long arms, can play outside. Maybe he's the answer at the outside corner opposite Mooney Ward. That means we can leave Lenore inside permanently. Who knows? But it's another good, cheap signing that gives us depth. And what I'm really excited about is the offense is exactly the same. As of right now, the offense is exactly the same. We got Jennings in the building. We re-signed Feliciano. We got Kevin McKivitz on the extension. So everything's the same. There shouldn't be any drop-off offensively. It should go up a notch because everyone's returning for another year. So everyone talks about the Super Bowl window and things like that. Well, it's the same team on paper with a few wrinkles on defense, but everything's looking good. It's right now on paper, we should be making another run at this thing. So that's exciting to see.
I am excited as well. I really am. Just for those things that you guys said, David had sent me some messages about the offensive tackle, I believe, that we had gotten. And, guys, sometimes, you don't know what a player is going to be like until you take a chance on them. And David, I can't say the guy's name, or Ty, I can't say his name very well, but the one we got from the Carolina Panthers, the defensive tackle, defensive edge we got, the one who's taken over for Kellen Farrell, I think.
Cleveland Farrell. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm really excited about him. I'm really excited about the backstory. I'm really excited about, sometimes, like some things people say to you, like spiritually, or, you get like moved in a certain way. And I've been touched. I like his moment. I like his story. And I believe we are all here for a purpose. And I really, truly believe this guy makes the team. His purpose is to help us win 6, our next Super Bowl. Right. So if you guys haven't checked him out, can either one of you guys properly say his name so I don't butcher it?
David's got it.
Montos? You had a Gross Montos?
Yeah.
Go check him out. There's a YouTube video. It's like 9 minutes long or 11 minutes long. It's really cool about his backstory. It sucks. It really sucks. Sometimes you lose people. And he did. He lost two of probably the most significant people in his life. And he still wakes up every day, still goes and does what he's got to do. And we got a chance. He's going to be on our team. And, he's going all in. He's going all in. So I'm excited for him. I guess that would be like my guy for this year. If that's my guy right there, I'm backing as of now. Now, sad to see some players go. It is. Hopefully they can go to another team and be a contributor. Again, sometimes it's all about the money. It is. It's just all about the money. Even though we think, hey, it might be an opportunity for you to stay with us, and we're a family and we're a franchise, we're friends, right? Well, sometimes friends and family have to move, and that's doesn't mean you have to lose their name or anything like that. But we've lost some players. So this is the thoughts. That's kind of funny, and a lot of people's kind of thrown it out there. The defense is getting all these twerks and quirks and adjustments, but it was the offense, essentially, that kind of cost us the Super Bowl, right? It was the offense that fumbled in the beginning of the game. It was the offense that went 3 and out 3 times in the third quarter. It was the offense that went on 3rd and 4 and didn't score the touchdown, right? Or run the ball. So we got rid of the defensive coordinator, and I'm not trying to point this at Shanahan, but we got rid of the coordinator. We fixed some of the defensive players, and we've moved some pieces around, right? So is it going to be the defense that's going to be the ones that take us to the Super Bowl, or is the offense continuity sticking together and these guys running it back one more year going to be what we need? Because we've talked about the offensive line being, changed, right? We want a better offensive line, veterans, right? Well, even veterans make mistakes. And sometimes, you just have to know what to do right then. You don't guess, because it's animal instinct, right? It's muscle memory. Well, this guy kind of didn't know what he was supposed to do. And he thought the next best thing is go this way. It was the wrong way to go. But that happens to vets too. So let me throw it to Ty. Ty, do you see the defense taking a significant step forward that would be able to help us overcome our obstacles in, like the Super Bowl, like what happened with the offense, where our offense is just not quite getting it done? So are you going to ask your defense to hold teams to 15 points, 14 points? I mean, we were holding them to like 17 points there and winning. Right? So how much better do you want this defense to be to help this offense, this high-powered offense we have, right?
That's a tough task. Because, the defense played. I mean, when you talk about the Super Bowl, if you look at the defense, they gave up 12 points through 4 quarters, right? Just 4 field goals. That was it. The touchdown off the Ray McLeod fumble, that's on special teams. Like, you can't give a team the ball on a 19 and expect to hold them to 0 points. It's just unreal. But when they had to drive the length of the field, this defense held them to 12. So now we're going to ask the defense to do what? Hold them to 7? And say to the offense, hey, can you score 2 touchdowns at least? Can you at least do that? Right? That's rough. I think the defense will be fine. They'll retool. There'll be a lot of the same. I can see them, being 3rd in points allowed once again, maybe lower in yards allowed. But to ask them to do more, my goodness, that's a lot. If they just do the same, I'm happy. If they do more, great. But yeah, to me, I'm looking at the offense. When you get in the red zone, you got to get 6, not 3.
David, you remember? I'm pretty sure you remember, because I like to say this a lot. When we run the ball or play 49er football, right? And we have the ball for 10, 12, 15 minutes a quarter. I said 15, folks. It's happened. We've had the ball that long.
We've had it
in this offense. But it's not exciting, right? Because we're only coming away with 28 points if we're lucky, 24 points, Jimmy Garoppolo-esque, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now we have a kicker who can kick further. We have a quarterback who's not afraid to scramble a little bit and, improvise. Now, Jimmy did, but Jimmy got hurt. And then Jimmy got cement feet back there, right? And that's kind of what happened. Jimmy was afraid to move. And then when he did move, he got hurt again, right?
Yeah.
So, David, would you rather the Niners go back to what we were kind of doing, where we're only scoring like 24 points, 28 points, keeping the defense off the field, running the ball, milking that clock? Or do you want us to go, like we were trying to play against the Ravens and just, try to score as many points as we can, as much as we can? Yeah. How do you see this offense this season going? Are we going to go backwards, or are we progressing? Are we going to air this out?
I honestly don't see us holding the ball for. I think we set an NFL record in the playoffs, wasn't it? Like 12 minutes or something like that on a drive. I can't remember. That was a few years ago. Or it was like 10 minutes and 30 seconds or something. So it was something mad crazy. But I would honestly rather see us go on long drives, somewhere 8 to 10 minute range, and keep the defense off the field. If we're scoring 28 points, I'm happy with it. But at the same time, with this offense, that 28 points is probably going to be more like 31 to 35, because this offense is a little more dynamic than a lot more dynamic than it was with James Richard Garoppolo.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't want to throw outside the numbers.
Bingo.
Throwing 35 yards downfield was just no. He wasn't going to do it, even if the guy was wide open. He still didn't try it.
He would miss him when he do it. When
Yeah.
he did it, he would miss him. Like it was inaccurate.
So, and a lot of that had to do with Kyle's trust. He had James out there because he was the best guy on the team to do it at the time, right? And then, how Kyle is with rookies. We got Brock, and we all seen the story where Jed York said that Kyle actually came to him and said, I think our, QB3 is probably the best QB on the team.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point we had James, Trey Lance, and Brock Purdy,
Mm-hmm.
So, and then, we all know what happened in the Seahawks game. Trey Lance had his broken ankle. And then, James came in, and he was actually having one of the best seasons he's had with us.
Yes.
I think it was actually statistically looking to be better than 2019. But then, he tried taking off with 300-pound Miami Dolphins hanging off of him.
The freak injury, which is the story of his career.
And you just can't run with 600 pounds on you, folks. You just can't.
It wasn't even all 600. It was like 100 of it. The guy tapped his foot and just came off, and all of a sudden his foot is just completely broken. It's the weirdest thing.
It was.
Both our quarterbacks got injured running the same way to the same side of the field, almost identical. They got caught in the back, and they got swung off their back, and their leverage, their weight broke themselves. It's kind of a weird karate move the way it happened. It's not fun. So Ty, looking at our players that we've signed now, and the Niners are always kind of looking towards the future, right? We're always looking to keep ourselves from cap hell, right? We don't want to be the Saints. We don't want to keep kicking the can down the road. But they have done some things in free agency and with the contracts restructuring to be able to, sign some of these key players, to retain some players. So we see them, we see their thoughts, right? Keep a core together, get to a Super Bowl, try to do it again, right? Maybe you just need one or two different pieces. Maybe it was just a bad bounce of the ball. So are you upset that they're not going out and signing a bunch of these stars to huge contracts right now because this is our window and our window is getting smaller? Or are you okay with them taking, we'll say it, Scuba Steves, and making something out of them? But with the same sense, if you don't get it done this year, when are we saying goodbye, Scuba Steve, and we're going for, someone like Felicia or somebody even better than Felicia? Let's go for Beyonce or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when are we going all in? I know people said when CMC got here, right? Oh, I said it. I'd trade a first round pick for him. People are like, what? Then they started complaining about the capital that we did trade for him. It wasn't a first round pick.
No.
It was a really good deal for us. We kept him from going to the Rams. People are complaining about the capital that we spent. Now, is there anybody that you can truly think of that we would have used, that we would have got anywhere close to CMC by using those picks? It's like, so at a certain point, again, are you looking for us to make a big name splash? Somebody you can go buy a jersey because their name's popular in a bunch of houses, or are you going to see the Niners? How do you see this working out the rest of the way? And again, is it going to be worth it if we don't get a Super Bowl?
No, I don't think we're going to make the big splash that everyone's thinking about. Like, we didn't go out and trade for Brian Burns. We didn't try to lure Chris Jones over. Like, I believe they're looking at this logically and saying, we can't sign a big guy to a big contract right now. We just asked two players to take pay cuts. So why put yourself in that cap hell by making a big splash? I think they realized
you have to cut them next year.
Exactly. I think they realized exactly what we talked about earlier. A big thing that was wrong with this team is that on the back end, after your starters, the cupboards were a little bare. Let's go out and get some young guys on the cheap that has some potential, showed some great, ability, and sign them. And let's get some guys with high motors, right? Who are durable. They play 17 games and they don't mind being part of a rotation because they're already in a rotation. So let's get them in here. So I think they did a lot of that, and collectively that makes your big splash. They're truly trying to build an all-around roster that gives them the flexibility and the longevity to make a run at this thing. I don't think one guy is going to make a difference unless you're getting like a TJ Watt, right? Or Chris Jones, like we said, a big impact guy. But we see those guys are making $30 million a year. They're making quarterback money. And they're not going to do that. And if you notice the contracts that they're signing, these guys too, they're all short 1 year and 2 year deals.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? Because they know 2 years from now, our quarterback is up for a contract extension. And we're going to have to pay that QB money. This whole $4 million quarterback room is going to be a thing of the past.
It's going to be 60 million quarterback room.
Because if Brock continues to ascend the way he is, he will be one of those highest paid QBs in the league.
So if we start to ascend, I guess I'm totally on board with what you're saying, and I agree. And this is fun because now we want to have a offense that's controlling the ball all the time, controlling the clock. We want our defense to be fresh all the time and not be on the field, kind of like what we've had in the past. But now we have a quarterback that's a little bit more mobile. So when you're a little bit more mobile, maybe that means there's some seconds that's going to be taken off the clock because now he's running out of bounds. Or maybe he fumbled, or maybe he scored too quickly, right? So now our defense has to go out there a little bit more. But it's okay because we've scored more points now.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get to a point and you're like, okay, this guy's scoring more points. So he's going to want some money.
Yeah.
How do we justify not paying him? So if we keep running the ball and we only score 28 points a game, we're winning. The fan base can't be mad, right?
Mm-hmm.
But this guy's stats and this guy's numbers aren't up there. Take, for example, Brandon Ayuk. He wants to get paid, right? Put him on a different team. Let's talk. Let's see where he goes. Let's see what his numbers are. But because he's on our team, he's the fourth used receiver, right? Or fourth used option.
Fourth option on offense.
Yeah, on offense, yeah.
Yeah, because we don't care. Running back, tight end, fullback, we do not care what you are. If you can be a playmaker, we will use you. So just because you say wide receiver doesn't mean you're catching the ball first.
Yeah.
So how do we justify again by saying, oh, this guy's this super great guy, but we're not paying him a bunch of money? It almost seems like hand in hand, you have to get a big contract to be like the man. Do you agree with that, David? And then I want your thoughts too, Todd.
You know, it almost seems like you have to have a big contract to be the man. And it's almost like, you know, do you want to be on an organization that's winning moving forward with a young QB and, you know, like a nucleus like Fred Warner, you know, Nick Bosa, they're not old. You know, Jair Brown, Hufanga, Travarius Ward, Diamador, none of these guys are old.
Yeah.
So we do have a couple old players, and yes, we're going to have to replace them at some point. That's just football. It's how the world spins, right? Years go by. But if I was Ayuk, it's just a question of, do you want to go to us to trade you to a team that probably isn't in the same position so you can get paid? Or do you want to continue here where you've been to a Super Bowl? Yeah, we lost. But you've been to, 3 NFC championship games in a row? You know, do you want to continue with this organization? Or do you want to go to an organization that might not even make the playoffs and make your money? And You guys heard the report about the Jags, right? I'm thinking you did.
No.
Yeah.
No, what report?
Supposedly, we were talking to the Jags about a first round pick, the 17th overall.
Yeah, allegedly. I got you. Yeah. I heard that one.
Now, I don't honestly believe this because it doesn't come from the 49ers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this is like something Trent Baalke would do.
Yeah.
You know, oh, I'm going to leak some false info. I hate them. You know, but and then for some young wide receiver that I don't know and a first round pick. Now, first things first, look at the type of compensation that all pro, wide receiver gets when you trade them. One pick and a wide receiver, that's not enough compensation.
Yeah.
The Niners wouldn't call asking for that. The Niners would call saying your first, your second, your firstborn. What does your right hand look like?
I know, right? We need that too.
I mean, no, I seriously think that was a false report. I do not think it's true. But at this point, he wants to make some money. And we would be the first team in the league to pay, top money to 2 wide receivers. So is it going to happen? I don't know. Are we going to make him play his 5th year and then walk in free agency? I kind of doubt that. I honestly doubt that.
Yeah, it's still. I don't think you need a big contract to be the guy. I think you can have a small contract, and if you're getting fed a lot, you're the guy, right? Like CMC does not have the biggest contract on the team by any means, yet he's the guy, right? He is the guy. We know the offense goes through him, so that's a perfect example of it.
I think there's 2 different guys that you're looking at. Like there's 2 different. You can be the guy that is the workhorse, and then you can be the guy that's the workhorse that's also got the credentials that go with it, right? And the big contract and the nice fancy car, right? Like you look at Kurt Warner, right? Still driving around in that green Jimmy. What was it? Was he driving around green? It was a green SUV, and come on, So if you don't know, folks, go check it out. It's almost like if they get a big contract, everybody's like, he's the face of the team. He's the franchise. But they might not even be the best player. They might not even be the best player. So if a player wants to go somewhere else and go get paid and be used more in a team, I mean, I understand it because you don't want to be just on a team playing ghost or running routes for no reason. You want to be utilized. You want to make it, you want to hear them
your numbers. You want
to
show off. Yeah. That's what free agency is about, right? That you can go to what you deem a better situation for yourself, whether it's a better situation in the offense, whether it's more money, whether you just you're going from the cold of Buffalo to the heat of Miami, whatever it is, you're going to a better situation. The thing with BA, I know there's a lot of talk about BA right now. He's still under contract. People forget he is still under contract. He's hashtag pay BA. We are already paying him because he's under contract. $14 million is not anything to sneeze at. That's a lot of money, right? It should be hashtag extend BA because that's what we need to do. We know we want to keep him around. John Lynch came out and said, hey, he's our guy. We want to keep him. I'm sure they're working in the background to come up with an extension for him, right? It's just that we know how this team works. These extensions don't happen till August, late August at that. We're still months away from that. So people need to be patient and just let the process happen.
So what I think we've determined is stats do not matter. Stats help you get paid.
Most definitely.
But stats do not matter in order to win a Super Bowl. And the reason we're getting at that is because you don't have to be the most prolific offense to win a Super Bowl. You have to be efficient. You don't have to be the best defense. You have to be a good one.
Yeah.
You have to make the plays when the plays need to be made. And that's about it. And you can have Scuba Steve do it, or you can have Kirk Cousins do it, or you can have Zach Wilson do it, or you can have Joshua Dobbs. Right now, the Niners are definitely making moves. I don't think they're done yet. I do not think they're done yet. So let me run through the chat real quick, guys. We've been ignoring them.
It's been cracking me up the whole show. I don't know if
I know
over here giggling.
They've been talking about Star Wars stuff, and it's great.
We'll just say their names real quick. We got Carcast, Bebop, Raphael, Daniel, Barry. Check him out. He's got a great channel as well. Bebop's a great friend of the channel. King Mufasa, you know about Doofu Sports, you know, right? So King Mufasa and me, we both know about this cool streaming app that allows you to be able to, I don't know if you want to say pirate games anymore, but we can view games you can't see. So check him out. And King Mufasa is everywhere too. He's in a lot of chats.
Nice.
Frequent flyer on the Rombo Sports comment section. We got Damian Lee. I know there was a disturbance in the force. We have Steve-O here. We got Jason, the captain. You guys know the captain. And then we got Kitty coming in. We got Big City Man. Big City Man's pretty cool guy too. I see him a lot in I want to say in Lawrence's chat, platform 246 if I'm correct. But he's a great guy as well. And we got Soli 684 coming through. Aloha. John Jay came through. I seen that as well. I have not seen her, but I'm sure she's listening. That's okay. And yeah, I think that's about all of our comments. Oh, media's here. Anshul, go check out Anshul's channel right here, guys. He had to take a break and then come back into it. And if you thought you were subscribed, go back and make sure you are subscribed. So definitely check him out as well. And yeah, I think that's about it. So thank you everybody for coming. I want to ask you guys both a question. You got to pick one. All and you got 3 options. Oh, we need a punt returner / kick returner.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is it Brendan Rice? Is it Logan, or it's Logan McCaffrey, right?
Luke.
Yeah.
Luke
McCaffrey. Okay, because I've seen people type it both ways, so I'm getting really confused. So Luke. So you're my boy, Luke. Okay, I'm gonna mentally remember that now. So Luke McCaffrey or Frank Gore Jr. I'm gonna start with David up here at top. You can only pick one. They're not going to be a wide receiver. They are not going to be a running back. They are making the team as a punt returner or kick returner. Who are you picking?
Frank Gore Jr.
Okay.
He's kind of a scat back. He's got good speed.
So. Exactly. Yeah, that's my pick as well because of that same reason. He's a ball carrier, so he used to having the ball in his hand a lot, going upfield, weaving through the defense, and he has more speed. He's that scat back. He can hit the open area and go, and that's what we need.
All right, I'm taking Brendan Rice. I'm taking him at 3rd, and I don't care. I really don't care. I think the guy's got it in him. I think he's a little taller than his dad. I don't think he wants to wear 80. I think he wants to wear 81 because he's the next one. I think the Niners are looking directly at him. Frank Gore would be great to bring in, and I would love to see him. And Luke, man, dude, you're my boy. You know that, right? But I don't see Luke coming because we already have a McCaffrey, and we've had a Gore. And unless they get really lucky, I don't see Gore coming because you got to make room for Devin Culp too, guys. So remember that. Devin Culp, shout out. Washington tight end. He might not be the first Washington tight end coming off the board, but he's definitely going somewhere. He's going to get it on a team. You have so many teams out there. There's 32 teams, and there's about 3 positions at every team, right? So we're looking at what 64 positions, right?
Yeah.
So these are the 64 best athletes in the world, right? Right? What the heck happened to the 2001 quarterback room? That draft class? Everybody's was projected to go super high. Everybody's supposed to be great, and now everybody's on a different roster except maybe the guy with the best hair in the league. So,
sunshine.
Yes. Is he the next one to go somewhere else? What do you think?
I think the Jags are going to do whatever they got to do to keep him.
Yep.
So this was this last year, his 4th year?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
So then he's up for extension.
They picked up his 5th year option, and yeah, he's up for a contract extension. So they got to work that out.
That ought to be good. I want to see what Trent Baalke does. Throw $80 million at him, just mess the market up for everybody.
Yep.
That dude. Shout out to him signing Christian Kirk. For that
ridiculous contract. Oh my
goodness.
Yeah. Hey, any way he can do it, he's still giving us a run for our money or making us work harder than we should. And I just gotta say, Trent Baalke, his time with the 49ers will always be remembered. But now he's a Jaguar, and he's still giving us grief. But you know what? That's okay, because he's in Jacksonville. But now Trevor Lawrence has Mac Jones, and he's going to be his backup maybe. So is CJ out of the door? I'm a big CJ Beathard fan, real big fan. Maybe it was the red beard. Maybe it was the number 3 on his jersey. Maybe it was him coming from the same college that Kittle came from. And because we looked at him, we found Kittle. Maybe it was the whole him being a great guy in the locker room, the whole, sad about his brother. But I would love to see us go back and get CJ. I don't think it's happening, but it sounds like he might be out the door in Jacksonville if Mac Jones gets his stuff together. So with that, guys, let's before the show's up and stuff, Minshew's went to the Raiders. I think he would have been a great pickup. You guys seen Kirk Cousins went over there to Atlanta.
Yep.
Who's the best
Justin Fields to the Steelers.
Russell
Wilson
to
the Steelers. And watch him triple down and draft a QB too.
Oh yeah. So Kenny Pickett went to the Eagles.
Yep.
So who do you guys are looking right now? Currently looking at who's projectively, just really, I guess our opinions. Who's your best backup quarterback in the league?
Oh God.
The best backup in the league. Wow, that's
where did Minshew go?
Minshew went to the Raiders, and he could be starting.
Oh yeah, I did that exactly. I can't even call him a backup because he could very well start for that team.
So can I say it? Can I say the elephant in the room before anybody else, or do you guys want to call me crazy? It's okay, but dare I say Jimmy Garoppolo, the best backup quarterback?
Knew it. James Richard Garoppolo, the best backup.
Right? Did we get him
yet?
Got
your back and your front.
He's got 2 rings sitting on the bench. I'm just saying, guys. I mean, if stats don't matter, right? And nothing matters.
You ain't lying. You ain't lying. He's won championships riding that pine.
Exactly.
That's just me having fun, guys. I don't think Jimmy, of course, is the best backup, but it is funny. And for whatever they spent the money to get him, because I don't think they spent a lot of money to get him, Carson Wentz is out there. I don't understand why the Niners didn't go after somebody like Carson Wentz. Marcus Mariota, I like him, but I think he's under contract still. I wanted to say he was with the Eagles last year, but I don't know where
he signed with somebody else this recently, last week. Mariota signed with somebody else.
Did he sign with the Titans? Maybe, or that would make sense going to Titans.
No, he went
Marcus
back there.
Mariota. Did he sign? I thought. Well, last time I looked, he was on the free agent list, but that was yesterday.
I believe he signed with the Commanders.
Okay, so that's why Sam Howell is a Seahawk now.
Yeah, exactly. They signed him. Let go of Sam Howell.
Sam Howell's going to be good with the Seahawks. I'm going to say it. I like his little, well, you can call it a green collar now, but I always thought he had like a blue collar kind of attitude down there. And I don't know, maybe I'm saying it the wrong way, but I just like his grit kind of, he reminds me a little bit like Garcia, where he's mobile a little bit, but he still wants to try to stand there and throw the ball, but he's not afraid to run the ball in himself either. And I don't know. I like seeing him in Washington, but, again, sometimes players have to go other places. They see a greener pasture, or maybe it's not so green. Maybe it's a little grayer, but the weather's still okay, so they'll go there. But guys, if there's somebody out there that you can't sign, well, that hasn't been signed yet, that you want to sign, Damian Lee, I believe he threw it out there. Someone like Cordell Patterson. I like Cordell Patterson like 2 years ago. He was with Atlanta.
Yeah.
I don't know why Atlanta let him go, if there was an injury or something with him, but he's always been rumored to be like Debo. So getting another Debo, that would be like adding us another CMC. That makes kind of sense, but what would he need to come here? How cheap would he be, or how expensive would he be?
Well, Atlanta drafted that dynamic running back. I forget his name, but that dude is awesome. So that made Cordell Patterson expendable. Like, we don't need you, dude. But Patterson, I believe, like, he's at the tail end of his career. I'd probably pick him up pretty cheap. I don't know how dynamic he is in a return game anymore, because I believe he's primarily used as a running back the past couple of seasons. So it's like, if we're going to bring him in and he's just going to be a back, like we can't play the young guys we got already. Why bring him in? So, and Damian Lee says $5 million for him. That's not what we do. Nope, that ain't happening.
No, that's a little too expensive.
So Danny Gray returned kicks in college, you know.
Yeah. So I can see them giving him the opportunity. Like, this is the way for you to your keep on the
Kyle's
team,
like,
dude.
well, there's not a spot for him on the team. You don't remember our best gunner of 2022? It's like, what do you mean there's no spot for him on the team?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, this season, don't get hurt, Danny Gray. Get you a spot, buddy. We need a wide receiver that can take the top off the defense, and that's what he is.
I think he got hurt, got healthy, and they kept him on the shelf. I think Kyle just put him in that doghouse that he has and just kind of kept him on the shelf. Unfortunately.
Whether or not we agree with it or not, we're not dad. You know, we're not mom.
Yeah.
You know, we're not the teacher, and we
We're not calling
definitely
the
aren't the
shots.
coach. The coach is the one who has to keep that locker room together. He's the one who has to have everybody listening to him. When he says jump, they're supposed to yell how high, and they're supposed to be off the ground already, right? At least that's what I remember. You know, they say jump, you're supposed to already be leaping up off the ground, yelling how high. So it can't always work out, and sometimes attitudes happen, and sometimes, and I don't know if there was an attitude with Danny Gray, but it just seems really weird that you go and you bring somebody off the practice squad when we're spending so much money on you. And this is what's interesting, is because of your draft class, you bring this much money, you guarantee this much money to be paid. And because we have our quarterback at such a low draft, you know, or a high draft, it's a low draft, right? Drafting in the 7th round is drafting low, or is that considered drafting high? No, high would be first round, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so when we get a 7th round pick, that's the last guy in the draft. We're paying him very, very cheap. You said it as well. And then you don't play other players that you are paying more money. You don't care about what you're paying these players. You don't care. You just want the production out of them.
Yeah,
so
the
if
production.
he's not seeing that he's getting it, or maybe getting through, or Danny Gray's listening to him, there's only so many reasons he's not playing you. So, I mean, we can continue to try to figure it out. Maybe there'll be a book one day written about it, but
I know in one of the criticisms of him during his rookie season is that his route running wasn't what it should be. He wasn't taking it seriously. He didn't practice it enough. You know, he had the great speed, but it's more than that. You got to learn how to run a route. And he didn't do that. So I don't know what happened in season 2. Maybe season 3, he comes out, he goes trains with Ayuk, somebody, I don't know, and comes out with like a gangbuster. So we'll see. We just have to see how he approaches it.
That to me really truly just blows my mind, right? Because we have 64 players at any position that are supposed to be the best players in the world, right? 64 times 32 players, right? So that's how many players are supposed to be the best, right? So you're telling me Danny Gray, he made it to the NFL without knowing how to run routes? Oh my God, man, if they could have seen me kick, I mean, like, I could have made it all the way there. I mean, like, right? Oh my
We could be
God.
wearing your jersey.
Right? So there's moments where it's like, maybe because you're not physically tall enough or fast enough or this, but you got the heart, but you don't get in because this guy's faster than you, but you go to all the practices, you do your homework, you're an honor roll kid, but you just can't get it up there, right? Because you need a booster seat, right? Well, Danny Gray is a little shorter, and maybe that is one of the reasons they didn't want to utilize him in some games, maybe because of the scheme or something like that. But I think that's just a little funny. And then to hear our coach, and again, I like Kyle, I really do like Kyle, but to hear our coach say, it's not my job to develop a quarterback. It's not my job to develop a key position player. You should already know how to tackle. You should know how to throw the football. So I'm going to give you the playbook. I can break that down to you. I can go in detail with this, and this is what I'm teaching you. But to teach you how to throw a spiral, or to teach you how to catch, or come out of a 3-point stand. I mean, like, come on, guys. There at a certain point, you're supposed to already know this, right?
Yeah. You're supposed to know how to do these things. I know on the NFL level, there's a refinement that goes on with it. Like, you take it up a notch. Okay, this is how we do it in the pros. There's certain techniques and things that you do and you learn and you get coached up with that. But there's certain basics that you should have within you when you get into the league, right? And it's like you said, when you get in, you see it's the best of the best. And there's that guy who's the best guy at Clemson. There's the guy who was the best guy at freaking Florida State. There's the best guy at, Notre Dame. That's what it is. So you need to elevate your game to compete with everybody. And some guys they can do it and others can't. That's the trickery of the NFL, especially when they draft players. You never know how their game is going to translate to the pro level, and can they take it up a notch?
Guys, man, I have so much fun talking to you both. I really do. I have fun talking to you guys on stage and on camera. I can do this all day. We got just a couple more minutes. Thank you, everybody who was listening, everybody who stayed, everybody who's going to listen later. Really do appreciate you. These are just thoughts, and again, anyone can have thoughts. Anybody can talk football. Anyone can have a YouTube channel, but we appreciate you listening to this one. Hopefully you listen to David's and Ty's next Monday. It's on David's channel, and then following will be Ty, and we'll just keep pumping out the content, guys. We like talking about just about everything, but we do keep it 49er general. And with that, guys, don't be mad that you hear a player get signed for big money. Don't be mad that you hear another player coming in. Next year, they might not be here.
Exactly.
At a certain point, I'm going to say, at a certain point, you're just hating, right? Because, everybody's got to eat. Everybody's got to work. Everybody needs a job. Maybe you look at your job and you say, hey, really wish I wasn't a painter. Really wish I was a field goal kicker for the NFL, for the 49ers. But you know what? Hey, I'm dealt with, and I'm working with it. And you know what? Scuba Steve, you got nothing on us. And with that, guys, hope you all have a good one. We will see you later. David's doing stuff. Make sure you turn into his show, turn the notifications on. He'll be doing stuff later this week. And then so is Ty. So definitely check out us on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook, wherever you get your socials. Yeah. And just say hi. We'll say hi back. Guys, you have a great one.
See ya.
Go Niners. And Corey Davis to say, F all 31 other teams.